indeed, I think that the very work that was done between 2005 and 2011 is key. And this very interactive dialogue is a demonstration that in these 6 years, we have an extraordinary change. And I do want to stress the work of Mr. Deng and Mr. Luck in shaping a secretariat investment in dialogue with the General Assembly in matters that are clearly evolving. So I think that there is a first observation on my part that has to do with progress. Progress in this area that has been indeed remarkably. But it's even more astonishing if we look at the long-term investment. Last century has been particularly violent, destructive, and bloody. And the first 10 years of this century, and I tend to agree with the representative of Cuba, have been very difficult. But there is a collective learning trajectory that is emerging. And I think that we see that collective learning emerging when we hear Ambassador Mulamula sharing the news of the Great Lake region, when we see what is happening in Europe. Let's not forget that Europe is a place of many genocides. The learning are coming out of huge human loss. I think it's important for us to see the trajectory after the Stockholm Conference, after the regional fora that Switzerland and Tanzania and Argentina organized, when we see the many communities ready for a much more committed work against genocide, war crimes, crime against humanity, formal discrimination. But especially when we see so many learning from the past, we have now available on the internet the voice of hundreds of thousands of victims. Hundreds of thousands of victims that have told their story. Dealing with the past is truly part of this collective enterprise. The system, we are creating it, is very precious. But I agree with Ireland that indeed the challenge is the integration of the international, regional, national, and local level. And I think it is impossible for us to have this conversation unless we share Ambassador Mulamula's vision to have a genocide-free region exactly in the place where humans have genocided themselves so intensely. The same way we have a polio-free world, the same way we have a smallpox-free world, we need to have the dream together of a violence-free, of a genocide-free, of a war crime-free, of a crimes against humanity-free, of a discrimination-free world. It is possible to engage nation-states in arrangements that were previously unthinkable. And it is possible, indeed, at this point, to involve the village level. So I simply have an observation, especially thinking of the OSCE, that puts the protection, that puts the human rights, that puts the rights of minorities at the center of a security construct. This is not just a soft-hearted construct. It's important for us to recognize that to take this concept seriously is to build a state that is dignified and recognize human dignity. Indeed, we are in a system creation phase, and we can make this process further if we recognize committed leadership. So in this sense, I would like to have my question to Ambassador Mulamula exactly about the integration of regional, national, and local levels. I find the Great Lake Region Conference very interesting in this regard, and I would like to see if she could spare some comments at the end. Thank you.